Hey everyone, I have a pretty exciting announcement to make. You can probably guess based on the title of the video what it's about. So, my wife and I have decided that I'm not allowed to name our baby if ever we have one. Because apparently all the names that I suggest are terrible. Which I don't understand because I think they're adorable. Everyone, meet the newest member of our family. This is sub to Wolfgang. Oh, what's his name? Oh, it's German. You wouldn't be familiar with it. It's German. You wouldn't know. And here's his twin sister, by the way. Like and comment Isha. Anyway, on that topic, I found some of the worst baby names in history on the internet, and today we're gonna see how bad they really are. Make sure to leave your favorite bad baby name in the comments. So here's a text conversation between two people. Give me a list of your favorite baby names. Why? I don't want to be made fun of. I imagine that's what this guy sounds like. Just do it! Okay, so Boots, Boots, Spino, Rhino, Reno, Fluke, Dante, Silas. Boots is so dope. There is a lot to unpack here, okay? Right off the bat, Boots sucks, dude. That's fucking terrible. That is not so dope like you think it is. I'm sorry. Isn't that the name of the monkey from Dora the Explorer? That's what you want to call your child? Boots? And Spino? Like a Spinosaurus? And Rhino? Like a Rhinoceros? Reno? That's just Rhino, but you spelled it differently, like worse this time. It's just the same name spelled shittier. Fluke. That's if you name your child Fluke, that means they were an accident. That's what you're saying. You're basically telling the world, yeah, we didn't want to have this kid. It happened, it was a fluke. Dante is the only, normal, acceptable name on here. And even then, I don't know how acceptable it is because nobody's really named their kid Dante in, 4 centuries. Silas? Silias? I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. But don't let this person name any children, ever, for God's sake. My girl name list is between these. I'm 9 months along, and I need help deciding something unique. If you don't like my choices, please keep it to yourself, sweetie. Oh, geez, here we go. Umbrella. Pronunciation, umbriella. How was anyone supposed to... Okay, anyway. Burgundy, which is Burgundy, but with Gandhi's name. So I guess Burgundy. Pokeley. Like poison oak combined. Combined with what? Actually, it doesn't matter what it's combined with. You don't name your child poison oak combined with anything. Why do you name your child after poison oak? Periwinkle, that just sucks. That's plain terrible. I mean, that's not a name. That's like a crayon that you get from the Crayola packs. Saxabella. No idea what that is. It sounds like a medication with a long list of side effects. Here's an invitation to a baby shower. Join us to celebrate the upcoming... Great choice of Comic Sans font, by the way. Join us to celebrate the upcoming arrival of a little bundle of joy in honor of... Chernobyl Hope. Chernobyl. Like the place where they had the nuclear disaster. Yeah, okay, we just want to make sure we're talking about the same Chernobyl here. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, and I don't know which one would be worse, actually. You can't even make a nickname out of Chernobyl. What are their friends gonna call them? Cherny? Or Bull? This is abusive behavior. This kid's life is gonna be terrible. Here's another text conversation. Somebody said you had a name picked out. Share? Only if you promise not to tell. I'm keeping it quiet for now. Shh. Girl, of course. Fine. We've picked... Okay. We've picked Ashtray. OMG, wait, so is Ashton off the table? I won't lie, I liked that one a lot. I'm being very polite. Well, he really liked Ray, so we combined the two. We wanted something gender neutral, and those two were our top picks. Do you not like it? I mean, won't it be hard for people to spell and stuff? I love how polite they're trying to be here. Well, it's super cute, but maybe it'll be hard to spell. Maybe we should consider, changing the spelling, no, the kid's name is fucking Ashtray. That's horrible. Just be honest. Tell them. People need to be more comfortable telling their friends and family when they pick shitty baby names. Because otherwise you're participating in this kid, being bullied for the rest of their life. Also, they said they wanted to combine the names Ashton and Ray, so that's why they picked Ashtray? Could they not have just gone with Ashton Ray? That would have been nice. Instead, they named their babies after something you flick cigarette butts into. So, here's people on Instagram sharing their baby names. We named our daughter Latrina. Katrina is too common, and Larissa is too old. Latrina means lavatory in some European languages, but it sounds like a cool name. You literally named your daughter after a toilet. Well done. I love how different those two comments are. Yeah, Latrina. She must have a brother named Lavatorio. The name kind of goes hard, actually. Good lord, what is this monstrosity of a name? What does that say? Brynlyn Sins, first time at the splash pad, 6/15 Father's Day. Holy moly, how many Y's do you need in a name? Is this Wheel of Fortune? Could you not afford to, buy another vowel? Yeah, you probably didn't get that joke, actually. Just tell it to your grandparents. They'll love it. That is beyond bad. I don't think I can recover from Brinlin sin. That sounds like a medieval disease. This lady's sharing pictures of her kids on Instagram. This one's named Jostasy. Like joy and ecstasy mixed together, maybe? Is that what that is? Wow, real classy if that's the case. And what's the little guy in the background's name? Euphoria Wanna? Oh no, it's Raw. Of course it is. Raw. Raw is just an insane name for a child. I hope he has an older brother named Medium Rare. That was such a dumb joke, I'm sorry. Happy first birthday, Coriander. Coriander, like the freaking herb. You could have named your child any number of herbs and spices. You could have gone with sage, juniper, anise, rosemary, but you chose coriander. And you chose to spell it like it's the name of some kind of like alien race from Star Wars. Her name is Chloe. Chloe is such a normal name. You could have just used Chloe, the normal Chloe. But millennial white people just love to fuck up their kids' lives by like giving them unique spellings. So now it looks like it's Cloffy or like Kloofy. Okay, here's a sign for a dentist office and it has like all their new patients, which I guess are mostly kids. Some of them aren't too bad. There's Madeline, Mason, Asian, I guess. Is that how you say that? Weird. Riley, ugh, that spelling is disgusting, but whatever. Margaret, crazy name for a baby. Crimson, Camilla, Phoenix, and Ya Majesty. Ya Majesty. Yeah, I feel like you're setting your kids up for some pretty high expectations in their life with that kind of name. Like, if they become anything other than royalty, like the highest class of society, then they're not living up to their name. So, he's gonna end up, like, serving burgers at McDonald's, and people are gonna have to be like, oh yeah, can I get fries with that also? Your Majesty? Hey, are you sharing the name of the twins? Well, you know how I've always liked the name Sistine? Yep, it's a beautiful name. What's the other? We decided on... I don't know if I can do this. We decided on 16 Lorelei and Seapple Aurelia. Do you mind if I ask how to pronounce those? No problem, we wanted more original names. The first one is just said like Sistine, and the other one is said like Chapel, but with an S sound instead, so it's Chapel. So it's that 16 is pronounced Sistine somehow, and then Seapple is actually pronounced Chapel. Okay, you got that? They are definitely interesting. Have you thought about maybe different spellings so it's easier to read? Just a suggestion. Not really your place to say, those are the names we picked, and we're keeping them. Naming your twins Sistine and Chapel is bad enough, but to spell it like this should be a crime. You should go to federal prison for this. And again, the person, I don't know who they're talking to, maybe it's a family member, they're being way too polite. Excuse me, would it be rude if I asked you, how do I pronounce these fucking stupid names? Like, no, tell them, pick a different name, what are you doing? Even if they get mad at you and never talk to you again, because you say, hey, those names are suck, they're like dumbass names, don't give your kids those names. At least you did the right thing to try and protect that kid from having to be bullied for the rest of their life and like having to always pronounce their name when people read it. My brother just announced they're naming their daughter Areola. They plan to spell it Areola and want it pronounced with a bogan Aussie accent, Areola. But let's be real here, kids are cruel. This poor child is going to get torn to shreds in school by her peers, but apparently it sounds beautiful. Everyone else makes up names by putting other names together, so it's fine. No one else knows what that's called, you just want to sound smart. And it's pronounced different anyway. I really wish I was making this up. I already feel sorry for this poor kid. I finally admitted defeat and responded that I hope they like the nickname Ari, because that's what I'm calling her. So, terrible idea to name your child Areola, but one thing I don't understand, this person said they want it pronounced with an Australian accent and then spelled it Areola, which is just how you pronounce that normally. That's not an Australian accent, but whatever. I really wish these parents were more aware of the way that kids pick on each other for their names. Like, here's another one of those name boards. I don't know what this is for. Maybe it's like a school or something. I don't know why these places are putting kids' names on boards like they're ice cream flavors or something, like outside of an ice cream parlor, but whatever. Most of the names on here are fine. Shannon, Olivia, Annalie. Annalie is a bit brutal, because guess what the other kids are going to call her? Anally. Not sure how you missed that. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Prosperity is just really stupid. Also, harmony, or harmony, which is spelled wrong. Harmony's already a word. You didn't have to, like, add another letter to it. It was already a word. Shipped. Your shopper, Desharté, is on their way to Target. Desharté. Yeah, for real. This one's not a baby name. Obviously, it's like a shopping app. Desharté is obviously not doing the shopping at Target if they're a baby. But they were a baby at one point, I assume. And their presumably loving parents decided to look at their beautiful newborn baby and curse it with the name Desharté. Here I've got a big old list of names that are banned in different countries. And if they're banned, it's probably because somebody tried to name their kid that and they had to make a law saying, no, you can't do that. So on this list, we've got Australia, which makes sense. You can't name your kid a country, that you can't do that. But then right under that, we've also got Bonghead. I'm not sure what stoner was trying to ruin their kid's life with that one, but I'm glad it was rejected. We've got Captain, Chief, Colonel, Commander. You can't name your kid a title, basically, which is fair, right? Except somehow apparently Your Majesty is fine, so I don't know. Cyanide? Who's naming their kid after a poison? What? Devil. Dickhead. That's crazy. You gotta hate your baby to name it Dickhead. Facebook? Who's trying to name their kid Facebook? IKEA, iMac, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you can't name your kid Jesus Christ. That name's already been taken. Marijuana, monkey, Nutella. Yeah, apparently in France, there was a couple that tried to name their baby Nutella. And just think about that for a second. 2 people independently had to say, yeah, I'd like to name my baby Nutella. 2 people had to think that thought. The judge said, it is contrary to the child's interest to have a name that can only lead to teasing or disparaging thoughts, which is exactly what all those other people should have said to their loved ones that were picking like terrible names for their kids. Robocop? Okay, that one's actually kind of cool. Satan? Scrotum. Shithead. Or maybe it's Shathid. Terrorist? Basically, if you name your kid terrorist, you're just guaranteeing that they can never leave the country that they're born in. One couple in Sweden tried to name their kid this, which they said was pronounced Albin, obviously. Sex fruit? In New Zealand, sex fruit wasn't made illegal for, obvious reasons. Somebody tried to name their kid that. Here's one that actually made it through. So a baby got actually named this, okay? You ready? Tallulah does the hula from Hawaii. Again, this was in New Zealand. I'm not sure what's going on in Oceania, but clearly they like weird names for some reason. This girl was actually named Tallulah Does the Hula from Hawaii. And when she turned 9 years old, she requested to legally get her name changed. Like this poor girl, she was too embarrassed to tell her friends her real name at school, apparently. I wonder why. Why would she ever feel that way? That doesn't make sense. This actually ended up with the parents losing custody of her for this like whole legal process to get her name changed. Good. You don't deserve a kid if you're gonna name it Tula Does the... How do you even name a kid that long? I didn't know you could do that. That's like a whole sentence. I didn't know you could even give a kid that long of a name. Like, you're telling me I could just name my kid Subscribe to Wolfgang on YouTube? Except when you go on YouTube, the first thing that comes up for some reason is like a K-pop music video. So you actually have to write, I am Wolfgang, and then my channel pops up. You're telling me I can name my kid that? I'm not saying I'd want to. That's way too wordy of a name. And speaking of subscribing to Wolfgang, that's exactly what you should do right now because this video's over. Thank you for watching. And if you don't subscribe right now, I'm going to curse you to name your firstborn child Lashardy, or whatever the name was that we saw. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.